Welcome back to episode number 6 of Road to World Series here with the Seattle Mariners. We are in the off season of 2023, heading into the 2024 season. Hopes were high in the postseason last year as we were going against the Twins in the division series. However, the Twins defeated us 3-2 as we took the first 2, and the Twins took the last 3. Last year we won 106 games, which means we can spend $50 million here in the off season. And I think I have just the people in mind to add to the team. So I'll see you guys there. So the first guy that I want to sign here is Yoan Moncada. He's going to be getting $31 million for 4 years. And he is going to be my primary second baseman, even though it says he's a primary third baseman. And you will see in just a little bit why I'm going to have him be playing second base for me. The second and final guy that I'm going to be signing here is the relief pitcher Ryne Stanek. He's a pretty decent reliever over the past 2 years. Last year he had a 3.04 ERA. I'm going to be giving him a 3-year, $26 million deal, and that's $8.7 million a year. That'll bring our total up to $39.7 million. Ryne Stanek is officially a Seattle Mariner over his 3 years and $26 million deal. And Yoan Moncada takes his 4-year, $124 million deal to become a Seattle Mariner. So the big trade that we're going to be making this offseason is for the right fielder from the Mets, Brandon Nimmo. He's 31. He has 6 years on his contract. And to be getting Brandon Nimmo, we're going to be getting rid of the second baseman that we will no longer need, Shed Long, the left fielder, Domingo Santana, who has underperformed over the past year, and the 25-year-old B potential starter, Sam Carlson. I really hope Nimmo can provide a good amount of offense and defense with that speed of his as well, and I just hope that this trade will be the one to put us over the top offensively. Okay, so every season I like to look through the waiver wires just to see what kind of players that they put on, like the old people like Jake Cave by now, who's 31, and just to see who they put on here, Blake Rutherford. Well, I see that the Mets have put a closer up there who's 22 years old, so I decided to take a look. A potential, great stamina for a closer, and pretty good hits, Ks, and walks per 9. And so I decided that I'm going to be putting a claim on him. And if I get him basically for nothing, I'm going to consider that a win-win, because he could develop and be a pretty good guy on my bullpen. Alright, so this is how our lineup is going to be looking like. Mallex Smith will be batting first. Yoan Moncada will be batting second. Aaron Judge will be batting third. Miguel Sano will bat fourth. Brandon Nimmo will bat fifth. Trevor Story will bat 6th, Healy will bat 7th, Matt Frederick will bat 8th, and Omar Narvaez will bat 9th. On the bench will be the catcher AJ Wyatt, the third baseman that I called up in Joe Rizzo, and not these two because the game likes to auto send down people and put them on the waiver wires because why not? So the two people that will really be here are Jared Kelenic and J.P. Crawford. So our rotation will be Aaron Nola, Vince Velasquez, Yusei Kikuchi, Yadier Alvarez, and a rookie that I just called up in David Calzado. The bullpen could be pretty shaky for a decent part of the year. I have Matt Wisler as our long reliever. Our middle relievers are Milo Gilly, Joey Gerber, Felipe Vasquez, and Mason Bridges. Felipe Vasquez got demoted from the closing role because he just hasn't been able to keep his ERA low over the past 2 years, so I didn't want to chance it this year. And the other three in Mason Bridges, Joey Gerber, and Milo Gilly are all wild cards on seeing how they do over the year. So I'm going to test my luck with these 3 younger people, see if they can give me some numbers, and we'll see how that works. Our setup pitcher will be Taylor Rogers after the amazing year he had last year, and the closer will be the guy that we just signed up in Ryne Stanek. Now with that being said, I will see you guys at the draft day. Alright, we made it here to draft day. Let's see how we do. With the first pick in our draft, we're going to go for the left fielder, Richard Chiavacci. With our second pick, we're going to go for the relief pitcher, Bernardo Ramirez. With our third pick, we're going to go for the starting pitcher, Brian Ortiz. With our fourth pick, we're going to go with the relief pitcher, Joe Kincaid. And with our final pick, we're going to go for the highest potential left in Josh Delgado. Now that the draft is over, we're going to see how horrible those picks were. I'm honestly not expecting anything from any of those players except for maybe the first person that I drafted. I had literally no scouting on any of them, so let's hope this goes well. Alright, so I must say that I'm honestly shocked. The first guy was probably one of the worst ones that we drafted. Brian Ortiz is a B potential starter. Josh Delgado is a B potential starter. Joe Kincaid is a pretty decent reliever. Bernardo Ramirez has something to be desired. And this guy's pretty decent in everything except for fielding. So for a draft that I was honestly expecting like all C's and D's, I'll take what I got. Now let's check out some standings. In the East, the Yankees are on top by 6.5 games over the Rays. In the Central, the Indians are running away with it so far, 15 games over the Tigers. In the West, the Rangers are in the lead with the Athletics 1.5 and the Mariners 2.5 back. And in the wild card, it's the Athletics and us Mariners. In the East, it's the Mets over the Nationals 2.5 games. In the Central, it's the Brewers over the Pirates and Cubs by a game. And in the West, it's the Rockies over the Padres and Giants, both within a game and a half back. In the wild card, it's the Padres and Dodgers with Pirates, Cubs, Nationals, and Phillies all within 2.5 back. Leading off, Mallex Smith is hitting .282 with 6 home runs. Yoan Moncada is hitting second with a .294 average, 14 home runs, and 40 RBIs. Aaron Judge is batting a nice .316, 17 home runs, and 36 RBIs. Miguel Sano is struggling a little bit average-wise, only batting .250 with 9 home runs. Brandon Nimmo's doing pretty nice, hitting .273 with 15 home runs and 42 RBIs. Trevor Story's doing pretty good, batting .271 with 11 home runs. Ryan Healy's batting .274 with 11 home runs and 37 RBIs. Matt Fredericks batting a okay .257 average with 11 home runs and 53 RBIs. And Omar Narvaez is batting a pretty good .294, 2 home runs, and 17 RBIs. On the bench, AJ Wyatt is doing pretty good on his own, batting .274 and 84 at-bats. Jared Kelenic is batting .288 with 66 at-bats. JP Crawford's batting .306 in just 36 at-bats. And Joe Rizzo is batting .302 with 53 at-bats. Aaron Nola's doing okay with a 3.68 ERA so far. Vince Velasquez is pitching to a nice, crisp, amazing 6.03. Yusei Kikuchi is doing beautiful with a nice 7.8. Yadier Alvarez, though, is pitching to a pretty good 2.88. And David Calzado, in his first year, is pitching to a 4.46. I think I found the problem with my pitching. In the relievers, Matt Weisler is pitching to a pretty decent 3.61. Milo Gilly is doing absolutely garbage. Joey Gerber, Felipe Vasquez is doing pretty good as the middle reliever. Mason Bridges is doing pretty decent also in his first year. Taylor Rogers hasn't gotten many innings in the setup role, but I'm sure he'll get more as we go along. And Ryan Stenik has a nice 0.53 ERA. Alright, so the first move I'm going to be making here is sending Joey down to AAA. I don't care if he gets claimed. And I'm going to bring up Mackenzie Dickerson, who we got from the Mets from the waivers. He's pitching to a pretty good 2.45 in the minor leagues. And I'm sure he can only do better than Joey has been for the first 2 months of the season. Alright, so I want Yusei off this team so goddamn badly that I'm going to be packaging Julio Rodriguez with him to the Royals for the starting pitcher Jorge Lopez, 31 years old, 83 overall. Not the greatest stamina, but you know what? He's doing a whole hell of a lot better than Kikuchi is this year. And I'm also getting a B potential catcher who's 23. As well. I sent Gerber down. I brought up Mackenzie to go into the middle reliever. I brought Jorge Lopez into my rotation, and now I'm going to go to the trade deadline and just pray to God that my record goes a lot better than it has over the past few months. Okay, so we have made it to the trade deadline. Let's take a look at the rotation and lineups. Then we're going to take a look at the standings and see if we need to make a deal or not. Mallex Smith has started to struggle a little bit here, batting .267, although he's got those home runs. Yoan Moncada is doing absolutely amazing, batting .309 with 25 home runs in the second spot. Aaron Judge is batting .316 with 28 home runs and 71 RBIs. Miguel Sano has gone on a nice hot streak, now batting .289 with 20 home runs. Brandon Nimmo is very, very close to batting .300, hitting .297 with 25 home runs and 83 RBIs. Trevor Story has been basically the same, batting .263, 18 home runs and 69 RBIs. Ryan Healy's batting .268 with 19 home runs. Matt Frederick has gone on a nice hot streak to bat .275 with 26 home runs and almost 100 RBIs, batting in the 8th spot. And Omar Narvaez is batting a nice crisp .300 with 10 home runs and 30 RBIs. AJ Wyatt has continued to climb overall-wise, batting .296 with 5 home runs and 21 RBIs. Jared Kelenic is batting a nice .288 with 4 home runs. JP Crawford is batting .286, and Joe Rizzo is batting .304. In the rotation, Aaron Nola pitching to a pretty decent 3.55 ERA. Vince Velasquez has dropped his ERA from 6 to 4.43. Jorge Lopez is also pitching to a pretty okay 3.53. Yadier Alvarez is pitching to a pretty decent 3.18. And David Calzado, who is the rookie, is pitching to a 5 ERA. In the bullpen, Matt Wisler is pitching 3.97 ERA as our long reliever. Milo Gilly has a 4.58 as a rookie. Felipe Vasquez has a 2.98, pitching pretty good so far. Mackenzie Dickerson is pitching above and beyond my expectations to a nice crisp 2 ERA. Mason Bridges is also doing pretty well, pitching to a 2.79. Taylor Rogers is being absolutely amazing, pitching to a 1.05. And Ryan Stenek has started to up his ERA just a bit to a 2.57. In the East, the Yankees are still up top above the Rays 9.5 games. The Indians are running away with the Central, the only team that has an above 500. In the West, we have regained our lead by 9.5 over the Athletics, with the Athletics, Rangers, Rays, and Red Sox all in the race for the wild card. In the National League East, the Mets are above the Nationals and Marlins, who I'm pretty sure haven't been a contender for almost my entire run here. They're both half a game back, the Mets. In the Central, it's the Brewers running away with no other team above 500. And in the West, it's the Dodgers with the Rockies and Padres both within 7 games back. And in the wild card, it's the Nationals and Marlins in the wild card, it's the Nationals and Marlins with the Rockies, Phillies, and Padres all within 4.5 back. The Mariners have won their division with a 99-63 record. And we are going to be taking on the Indians in the division series. This is how everybody ended up the year. Mallex Smith was batting a nice, pretty good 2.81 with 22 home runs as our leadoff guy. Yoan Moncada hit .292 with 39 home runs. Aaron Judge started to lower his average to a .294, but still hit 40 home runs. Miguel Sano hit .286 with 31 home runs and 100 RBIs. Brandon Nimmo hit a pretty good .307, 33 home runs and 107. Trevor Story hit .259, 24 home runs and 97 RBIs. Ryan Healy hit .257 with 29 home runs. Matt Frederick hit .271, 33 home runs and 111 RBIs. Omar Narvaez hit .290, 13 home runs and 44 RBIs. On the bench, AJ Wyatt hit .305 in over 200 at-bats. Jared Kelenic hit .289 in 135 at-bats. JP Crawford hit .256 in 90 at-bats, and Joe Rizzo hit .302 in 96 at-bats. In the rotation, Aaron Nola struggled a little bit there, pitching to a 3.81. Vince Velasquez struggled immensely, pitching to a 5.55 ERA. Jorge Lopez pitched to a 3.75. Yadier Alvarez pitched probably to the best ERA in the rotation to a 3.45. And David Calzado started to get a little bit better towards the end, getting under 5. Matt Wisler in our rotation pitched to a 3.25 ERA. Milo Gilly pitched to a 4.8. Felipe Vasquez struggled right at the end, just like he has for the past 2 years, now pitching to a 4.52. Mackenzie Dickerson pitched amazingly throughout the season, pitching to a 1.94 ERA. Mason Bridges pitched to a nice solid 2.95. Taylor Rogers went under 1 ERA, pitching .86, and Ryan Stanek pitched to a 2.96 ERA as our closer and saved 42 games. Nobody won any awards on my team, so we're going to go straight into the playoffs. In the wild card, it's the Rangers and the Athletics facing off to see who goes against the Yankees. As I mentioned before, it is us versus Cleveland. In the National League, it'll be the Mets versus the Brewers. In their wild card, it's going to be the Marlins and the Nationals who go up and see who face on the Dodgers. Alright, here we are. We're going to be facing off against Cleveland. In Game 1, we went 8-5. In Game 2, we lose 4-7. Game 3, we win 2-1. And Game 4, we win 8-0. We have made it to the championship series for the second time. And again, we're going to be facing off against the Yankees. Aaron Nola versus Luis Severino, and we win it by a landslide 8-1. Game 2, we lose in a pretty close game 0-1. Game 3, we lose 6-8. Game 4, we have tied it up 2-2. Game 5, we have lost 6-10. Now we have to win the last 2 games at Yankee Stadium to move on to the World Series. Alright, for Game 6, it is going to be Jordan Montgomery on the mound for them. Mallex Smith strikes out, Trevor Story flies out, and Aaron Judge strikes out. On the mound for us, it'll be Yadier Alvarez. Jankowski grounds out. Inciarte gets on with a walk. Benintendi grounds into a double play to end the inning. Miguel Sano doubles to start off the second. Brendan Nimmo strikes out. Ryan Healy grounds out. And Moncada drives him in with a double. Frederick drives in Moncada with a single. It is now 2-0. And Wyatt flies out. Hoskins hits a solo home run to give them a deficit now of 2-1. Hoskins reaches on a single. Torres reaches on a walk here in the bottom of the 7th. And I'm going to be taking out Yadier Alvarez for Mackenzie Dickerson to hopefully get out of this jam. Andujar pops it up. Contreras flies out. And Russell strikes out. We get out of the inning. No runs across. They're going to bring in Jonathan Holder to pitch the 9th. Aaron Judge hits a solo home run to give us an insurance run. Miguel Sano pops up. Nimmo reaches first on a walk. Now they're going to bring in Betances, who has a pretty nice, solid ERA, if I must say, here in the postseason. Healy flies out, and Moncada reaches on a single, first and second, and Frederick strikes out. We're going to bring in our closer, Ryan Stanek, to pitch the 9th. Benintendi reaches on a walk. Hoskin bunts him over. Torres strikes out, and Andujar gets out. We have defeated the Yankees 3-1 in his Game 7 time. Game 7 here, we're going against Victor Alcantara. Mallex Smith triples to lead off the game, and Moncada grounds out. Judge doubles, and that'll score the run. It's 1-0 here early on. Miguel Sano strikes out, Nimmo grounds out, and that'll end the inning. On the mound for us, it is Jorge Lopez. Jankowski singles. Inciarte singles. It's first and second here, nobody out. Benintendi doubles, but we throw the runner out at home. Hoskin pops up, and Gleyber Torres strikes out. Here in the third, Mallex Smith hits a solo home run. He now has a triple and a home run. Moncada grounds out. Judge reaches on a single. Miguel Sano reaches on a walk. And Nimmo hits a base hit, but Judge was thrown out at home. Trevor Story pops up, and that'll end the inning. Hoskin reaches on a single. Gleyber Torres strikes out. Hoskin steals the base. Andujar grounds out, and Contreras hits a single to tie up the game. We get a walk from Mallex Smith. We're going to... Oh, they're going to change the pitcher to Ryan Borucki. We're going to hit with Moncada. Malik Smith steals the base. I was going to steal with him anyway, but he did it on his own command. Moncada hits a single, and that'll score the run. It is now 3-2. And Malik Smith reaches on a walk. We have first and second here. Moncada up. He gets on a walk. Now we have Aaron Judge, the hottest hitter, batting 3 for 3 today with the bases loaded. They're going to bring in Steve Cishek. And he gets on with a walk to drive in a run. Here in the bottom of the 8th, we're going to bring in Taylor Rogers to pitch. Ground out by Jankowski. Ground out by Inciarte. Benintendi walks. Reese Hoskin doubles to score a run. And Gleyber Torres grounds out. They're going to bring in Holder. Nimmo hits a solo home run to extend the lead 5-3. Storer reaches on a single. Healy flies out. Frederick flies out. Omar Narvaez hits a single. It's first and second here with Malik Smith. He singles in a run to make it 6-3. Andujar grounds out. Contreras strikes out. And Russell grounds out. And the Mariners have finally, after 6 episodes, made it to the World Series. And we will be taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Alright, we are finally here at the World Series. And we are going to be going up against the Dodgers. In Game 1, we win. In Game 2, we win. Game 3, we lose. Game 4, we lose. And Game 5, we lose. Here we go, back at home. We have to face off against Julio Urias and Walker Buehler to take home the World Series. Verdugo flies out. Ruiz gets on with a double. And Toll singles him home, making it 1-0 here in the 3rd. Smith reaches on a walk. We're going to steal second with him. Story singles. We now have first and third, nobody out. Aaron Judge singles in the run, making it 2-1. Kramer hits a home run to tie up the game 2-2. Here in the bottom of the 7th, they're going to bring in a new pitcher in Rios to face Aaron Judge. He grounds out. Sano pops out. Brandon Nimmo, though, hits a solo home run to make it 3-2. Top of the 8th here, we're going to bring in Mackenzie Dickerson, who has 5 scoreless innings. He walks Andrew Tolles, strikes out Taylor. Seager doesn't do anything, but Tolles steals the base. Seager grounds out. Bellinger, though, hits a 2-run home run to give them a 4-3 lead. All right, it is the bottom of the 9th, Game 6. We have our top 3 batters coming up. Is there a rally to win the game? They're going to bring in Zach Britton. Smith walks. He steals second base. We have a man on second, nobody out. Story grounds out. Judge walks. First and second, 1 out. Miguel Sano at the dish. He flies out but moves Smith over to third. Brandon Nimmo, 3.39 average. What can he do? He strikes out, and the Mariners have been defeated by the Dodgers in the World Series. Well, we gave it our all. We made it to the World Series for the first time. We made it to Game 6. But our luck just seemed to run out right at the end there. With that being said, I hope you all have a great day. If you do enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, and turning on that notification bell so you always get notified of when I upload videos. And for when I defeat the World Series here with the Mariners, let me know in the comments who should my next team be. I'll always take your guys' consideration into who I should do. And if not, if nobody's really watching this, I'll probably just decide the next team myself. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.